All right, good morning, everyone. It is time for First Alert Weather Extra. Hope everyone's having a great day so far. I am First Alert Meteorologist Jill Gilardi here. We're going to be going more in-depth on the forecast, and boy, do we have a lot to cover. Since we get 7 days of different things happening, well, we're certainly trending warmer and muggier. We have the hottest day since August and of the year expected tomorrow, which is a First Alert Weather Day, and then becoming a little bit more unsettled, especially Friday into Saturday. But today's story is about the air quality. It has nothing to do with, ironically, the timing of the thicker wildfire smoke. It's actually due to ground level ozone. So the levels, a little unhealthy for sensitive groups. So who's included in that? Those of you that may have asthma, COPD, things like that. You want to limit your time outside. Again, that's from 11 to 11 p. And you can see where that air quality is not going to be the greatest, where you have the orange dots especially. Not quite as bad down towards the immediate shoreline of New London, maybe down towards, say, Old Saybrook. But yeah, just be cautious. And you can see the smoke combined with a few high-level clouds. It's pretty thick outside. We started off with that orange glow, a little reddish view to it. So yeah, this smoke is pretty thick across our sky going through today, but starts to shift eastward by tonight. And then the amount of smoke and haze is moderate, but lower than what we're seeing today for tomorrow. So yeah, a little hazy out there, ground level. You might have a little bit thicker down or up towards the north, but generally a lot of that is not becoming an issue down at ground level. As of now, it's more ozone. All right, tomorrow is a First Alert weather day. It's going to be, again, the hottest day of the year, and it's also going to be hottest day since August, muggy as well. Heat-related illnesses, yeah, they can't be ruled out if you're not taking the necessary precautions or doing strenuous things during the hottest time of the day. As you can see, the heat peaks tomorrow. Still hot Friday, backs off some, but yeah, we're focusing more on the short-term forecast. The dew points, they go back into the 60s, so that means it's going to be muggy and sweaty. Not my favorite weather. So yeah, once they get in the dew points in the 60s, especially higher than that, it does not feel comfortable outside. Hard to cool off, hard to breathe even sometimes. So we are still semi-pleasant today. The allergy forecast, generally over the next 3 days, it's moderate to high. So that's not going to change much unless you get some rain. It will knock down that pollen count on the localized level. So headed out to do some mowing today, working in the yard. Well, the temperatures in the air is most comfortable this morning. So it's always better when it starts to heat up. We're not used to it. I mean, unless you don't mind sweating a ton and drinking a ton of water. But it's going to be heating up into the 80s already by noon, inland 70s, mid-70s along the shoreline. And we'll be expecting those highs today, well into the 80s inland and 70s along the shoreline. I don't know why that little icon is not showing up on when to water, but it was a lovely hanging plant, a petunia, so you better water sooner than later. All right, tomorrow we're expecting the highs. Look at that, some low 90s inland, very toasty conditions out there. And as we take a look at the highs along the shoreline, low 80s tomorrow. Good beach day, right? All right, now in terms of tomorrow's severe weather risk or where storms will be developing, the better chance is across northern New England. But it's an indicator that we do have a front dropping in. So that's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. If you can see, there are some little pop-up little showers there, and that is across northern Connecticut. So we can't rule out a stray shower or passing thunderstorm tomorrow to our north. That front kind of fizzles and then rejuvenates as a stalled out front. Now that looks more promising in terms of rain, but certainly impacts to outdoor activities Friday afternoon and evening. Some of those downpours could be locally heavy. We'll have to monitor if for the possibility for a strong or severe storm. Doesn't look like a widespread threat, but based on that, you can get some locally heavy rainfall. It doesn't look like we'll have much of a steering current on Friday. But yeah, the front in the vicinity through part of the weekend, we'll have to monitor for rain. So here's some model comparison. All right, 7 a.m., not bad. Most of the state looking dry. All right, so we want, I guess, the GFS to pan out, right? Not the European. The European model shows that we have the better chance for showers, maybe a few thunderstorms around noon Saturday, of course. So we do have the Middletown Pride Parade that Channel 3 is going to be walking in. We have a lot of events, of course, happening on the weekend time frame. So we'll be watching very closely to see what ends up panning out. So just right now, prepare for that chance for rain. As we get closer, I think by tomorrow, we really have a better idea. The models are starting to come together, but we're still a little bit too long range. All right, the 6 to 10 day outlook now leaning even wetter than what it showed yesterday. But beyond the 7 day precipitation outlook is trending drier than average and hotter. Ugh. So that chance for warmer than average temperatures, warmer than a low of 54 and a high of 77, it looks to be developing in the long range, but in the short range. In the next 7 days, here's a look at your first alert 7 days. So a high of 88 inland, hazy, a little muggier, but you're going to really notice the muggies tomorrow. Hot temperatures, first alert weather day, perhaps an afternoon storm as we showed you farther to the north, better chance. Muggy with isolated, and we might have to make that scattered showers and storms based on new data, which I will have more on coming up on the news at noon. So we get new data coming in. That's usually around 10 o'clock in the morning. So our next newscast at noon. So that's when I'll be showing that. So definitely check in if you want to know sooner than later. Otherwise, you can watch the news this evening, or you can tune into First Alert Weather Extra at 9:30 tonight. So Sunday's looking like the better of the 2 days. Still trying to figure out how much rain we'll see Saturday. So the chances there. Have plan B just in case. Monday's looking great, and a few showers possible going into early next week. And temperatures more, close to normal. Remember, the normal high is 77 degrees. So nothing too extreme after we get through the extreme tomorrow. That is your latest First Alert Weather Extra. Everyone have a wonderful day. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and take care.